And we have said that by social structure, I mean two items. Can you remind me what are these two items? No suggestions? Okay. Yes, Abdurrahman.
معلش ممكن السؤال تاني.
Yes. What are the two components of the social structure?
Role and
Statuses and roles. Okay. Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. Statuses and roles. And for statuses, guys, we have said that we have two kinds of statuses. We have the ascribed and the achieved. The ascribed, in order to earn yourself this social status, it will be simply given to you after birth without any effort, like your gender, like your race, like your age, to be a teenager, a child, an adult, and so on. So the ascribed statuses without any efforts. On the other hand, the achieved ones, you have to spend some effort. You have to work in order to achieve them, like to be a doctor, teacher, a football player, or even a student. You have to spend some effort. Role expectation. The role expectation, of course, guys, in order to fulfill your social status, there are some roles must be accomplished with this social status. Like, for example, like the social status of a student. Of course, you have to go to school. Do you hear the sound of my TV, guys? Or it's my sound is clear?
A little.
Your sound is clear.
Okay. So, for the achieved statuses, uh, the achieved and the ascribed statuses. In order to fulfill these social statuses, guys, you must perform the roles associated with these statuses. Like to be a student, for example, of course, you have to go to school, to wake up early, and to do your homework. So we have some role expectations, the duties, the responsibilities of these social statuses. Okay? The society expects us to behave in a certain way, like the model type, like the norm. But in the real world, we have some exceptions. The actual performance. Of course, we expected the doctors to treat their patients with skill and care, but unfortunately, we have some doctors that do not treat their patients with the best possible care. So every human being at any given time have multiple statuses. Okay, so the status will be a socially defined position in a group or in a society. The social statuses, all of them, describes an individual's position in a group or in the society. But we're gonna use only one of them as an identifier. So, like nowadays, if I wanna identify you, any one of you, of course, you will have multiple social statuses, like to be a son, a brother, a student, a teenager, a boy, and your race, and so on. You will have multiple social statuses. Okay? Which one I'm gonna use to identify you? Any hints?
Mister, the most important thing in your life.
طيب, nowadays, let's talk about yourself.
For example, I'm a student because most of my time I'm a student, like in classes and so on.
So, if I want to identify you in the society, I will use your social status of a student. And this is going to be your master status. So your master status is the greatest role in sharpening a person's life. This master status, guys, can be ascribed or achieved. like my master status nowadays. Of course, my master status will be a teacher, my occupation, my job, my profession. This is gonna be my master status. So it will be the greatest role in your life. So let's talk about roles. Roles are simply the behaviors associated with a specific social status. But keep in your mind, you occupy a role. You occupy a status, sorry. In fact, you occupy multiple statuses, but you play a role in order to fulfill the duties, the responsibilities of these social statuses. Some social statuses requires a partner, like to hold a social status of a brother. Of course, you need some siblings in order to have the social status of a husband. Logically, you need a wife. Teacher needs a student. Coach needs an athlete. Boss needs workers, and so on. Doctor needs a patient. So we have some roles that needs partners. These we're gonna call reciprocal roles, define patterns of interaction between related statuses. Remember that you can interrupt me at any given time to ask me your question. And now we are revising what we have already discussed yesterday, guys. The society expects us to behave in a certain way. This we're gonna call the role expectation. The society expects the doctor to treat his patients with skill and care. But actually, in the real world, not all the doctors will treat their patients with the best possible care. This is the role performance. Until now, do you have any questions, guys?
No,
Any
all
question?
clear. But sir, like, isn't all roles reciprocal? Yeah, can you give me an example of
No.
non-reciprocal?
Like to be, for example, let me tell you something. Like to be a teenager. This is the social status. How are you gonna perform this, the role associated with this social status?
Okay, but sir, this is an ascribed. Can I have um,
Achieved?
achieved one without reciprocal? Because
Okay.
okay.
Lawyer. There is no need
I
to have a partner. Engineer.
yes,
There is no
but
partnership.
Mr. But a lawyer, I need a client to help. Engineer, maybe an engineer. No, an engineer.
You need a client, or you need a facility to build, or you need an employer.
No, yes, right. An engineer also.
Not all the roles in our lives requires partners, by the way. We have individual roles, okay? Like to be, let me think about an example here, okay? An individual role. Who's gonna help me, guys? Let me think. Roles, individual roles. Let me tell you something. Like to be a prince, for example. There is no need to have a partner. Regardless of this issue, we can think about it later. But keep in your mind this issue, guys, that all of us will hold multiple social statuses at any given time. So this gonna mean that these social statuses will interact with each other. So this maybe result in a conflict or a strain. Let me show you the difference. Sorry. Yes, here is it. We have something called role strain and role conflict. Let me tell you something. But before discussing the role strain and the role conflict, let me tell you something. For a student, for example, okay, a student, of course, logically, the student comes with multiple roles, like, for example, to go to school, to wake up early, to do your homework, to get a high score. So we can say that these different roles will be associated with the social status of a student. So we're gonna call these roles the group of roles associated with a single social status. We're gonna call them role set. Okay, so the role set are different roles attached to a single social status. Okay, at any given time, we are required to do many things, many roles, because we are holding multiple social statuses. Like our example here. Our friend here, she is the team member, a student, and a granddaughter. Okay, here are these three are social statuses. And of course, in order to fulfill these social statuses, she must accomplish the roles. For the granddaughter, she must fulfill the role of visiting her grandmother, for example, a student to complete her homework, team member to attend the practice. All of them at the same time. Of course, she is not a superhero. She must choose only one role to fulfill. So this is gonna mean if she wanna complete her homework, she will neglect the other two roles. And this we're gonna call it the role conflict. In order to fulfill one role, you must leave or neglect the other roles. This is the role conflict. Okay, guys? Role conflict. In order to fulfill one, you must leave the another. Another example, a good worker, a good employee, for example. Of course, the good worker must go to work every single day. At the same time, he is a good parent. He wanna take care of his sick child. So now he have to choose either to go to work in order to be a good employee or to stay at home in order to be a good parent, to take care of his sick child. So he had to choose either to go to work or to stay at home. So in order to fulfill a role, he must neglect or leave the other one. This is called the role conflict. We are not deciding here, guys. Do not get into the details. We are not talking about what's right and what's wrong in the society, what he should do, what this lady should do in her life. This is not our issue here. But my point of view is simply, in order to fulfill one role, you must leave or neglect the other. This is the role conflict. The opposite of the role conflict is the role strain, that both roles can be done at the same time. Like to be an athlete, she wanna be the best player in the team. And at the same time, she do not wanna make her teammates look bad in order to prove to the coach that she is the best. Okay? Another example, if this one is not clear for you. For example, a boss. Of course, the boss had a lot of work and he had a specific deadline to deliver the job. Of course, he had a group of workers. So he must overload. He must make the workers or enforce the workers to work for overtime. At the same time, he wanna keep their morals. So he can simply, during work, he can play some music for them. Or at the end of the day, he can give them their payment, their extra payment. So he can fulfill the two roles at the same time. Briefly, guys, all of us at any given time have multiple social statuses. Of course, in order to fulfill our different social statuses, the roles will interact together. The result of this interaction will be role conflict or role strain. The role conflict, we must leave or neglect the other roles in order to accomplish or to fulfill one. The role strain, all of the roles can be done together. The third point that I want to tell you will be the role exit. Nowadays, your master status will be a student, okay? Of course, not all of your life you will be studying. One day, your relationship with studying will be done, and you will start your career. So, your master status will be a student? Of course not. Logically talking, no. This gonna be a role exit. Your relationship with this role is already done, and you're gonna take another master status and you will use another role. Like criminals, after leaving, of course, they are convicts, but after their time is done, they will be ex-convicts. Divorced people, the relationship with the husband or wife or with marriage is already done. So they will detach from the social status of husband or even wife. Also, the motherhood. If the mother lost custody of her children, of course, she will lose the social status of a mother. So this is gonna be role exit. Any questions until now, my dear listeners? I guess no. So I can ask, right? Marwan Rushdie.
ايوه مستمع حضرتك.
Marwan, would you please tell me what's role strain?
حاضر. رول سترين
You can tell me from your mind. Do not read.
مش بريد والله. رول سترين ولا
Yes, strain.
trouble with social roles.
Trouble with social
social
roles.
roles. Yes.
Role strain, Marwan, that in order to fulfill the different social statuses in our lives, we can accomplish all the roles. Okay? The opposite of role strain, Marwan, is role conflict, that in order to accomplish or to fulfill one of the roles, we must leave or neglect the others. Okay?
تمام.
Kareem Khalid. Kareem,
Yes, mister.
what's a
Hello.
role conflict? Yes, hello. What's a role conflict, Kareem?
What's a rule conflict?
Yes. Do you have any idea?
Yes.
Tell me. Wow, perfect answer. Kareem, where are you? Guys, let me tell you something. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe you didn't get it. Okay? There is an item vague for you. It's not clear. Why you didn't ask me to repeat it? You are grown-ups. Kareem Khalid. Your question was
Hello.
role. You are still saying hello?
لسه الصوت بيقطع والله.
Sorry?
The sound is not clear.
Ahmad Hamdi, would you please tell me what's role conflict?
مستر زي الاكزامبل اللي حضرتك قلت عليه لما اب يكون عنده اللي هو
In English.
father mister his son is sick and his job might lose, so he has a conflict between these two status.
So in order to accomplish or to fulfill one of the roles, he must neglect the other.
لا
So he had to choose. Thank you. On the other hand, okay, Karim Muhammad, on the other hand, role strain. What's the problem with the role strain?
It's within only one status.
If we have multiple statuses, Karim, okay, and of course,
Yes.
these statuses will come with different roles. In the role strain,
Yes.
all of the roles can be done without any problems. While in the role conflict, we must choose one and leave the others. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Abdurrahman
Yes, sir.
Khalid, what's the role exit? Yes, Rashwan.
Yes, sir, we can say يعني in a summary that in role conflict you have a choice. Like in role strain you don't have a choice. Yeah.
Both ways, you have choices, Rashwan. You can do whatever you want to do in your life. Okay? No one will tell you what to do. But logically talking, you can't be at the same place. You can't be at two different places at the same time. You have to decide. You have to choose what to do. Okay? Regardless of the issue of organizing your life events. Is it clear, Rashwan? For the conflict, from its name, you will leave one to fulfill the others. The role strain, all of them can be done. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
What's the benefit of all of this discussion? What's the benefit of talking about social structure? What do you think? When all of the people in the society, okay, are organizing their social statuses and fulfilling their rules, okay, they will simply satisfy the basic needs of the society. So, all humans, statuses, in order to perform the status, yeah, they have to fulfill the roles attached to these statuses. After all of these steps are done, of course, you're gonna satisfy the needs of your society. Okay? And we're gonna call these institutions the social ones. So the social institutions are systems and structures that shape the activities of groups and individuals in the society. Keep in your mind that is not a physical institution, okay? Like, for example, family. Of course, we have some social statuses of a parent, of a mother, of a son, of a daughter, and so on. And of course, every social status will come with some roles. Also, the economic institution. The political one. What's the economic institution, by the way? What do you think the economic institution?
May I try?
Okay.
From its name, economic, I believe it's like related to earning money or like maybe jobs or banks, something about money.
Organizing, producing, distributing of goods. Okay. I'm not talking about a specific organization. Keep in your mind, it's not physical institutions. Okay. The political institution. Of course, I do not mean by the political institution, I do not mean the government. But I mean by the political institution, I mean the distribution of power in the society. who will make sure that if you have some power in the society, you will not misuse it. Sorry, like the police officers. Of course, they have some power in the society in order to enforce the law. Maybe they will misuse it. Who will make sure? Who will take care about the distribution of power in the society? The political institution. Education. Of course, by education, I do not mean schools. I do not mean universities. By education, I mean that then this institution is responsible for transferring values, beliefs, and cultures through different generations. This is the educational process. Religion, shared beliefs and values among the people. Keep in your mind the 5 examples of the social institutions: family, economic institution, the political one, education, and religion. And they are not physical places. You cannot visit a social institution. It's a structure in the society. It's not a place. For this reason, I have told you the political institution do not relate this political institution to the government. Do you have any questions? This slide will be the end of your lesson. Building blocks of social. Quickly from the beginning. The social structure, statuses and roles. 2 kinds of social statuses, ascribed and achieved. You have, they were simply the ascribed statuses were given to you by birth. The achieved ones, you have to work in order to earn them. The roles, of course, in order to fulfill your social status, there are some tasks to do. There are some roles, but the society expects you to behave in a certain way. What to do? This is the expectation. But how you do it, this is your actual performance. And of course, there is a master statuses. Among the different social statuses, there is a master one that we're gonna use as identification or as an identifier. The greatest role in sharpening your life. Someone is sending me a message. I do not can't see the slide, Ali. Why is this? Let me reshare it. Maybe you have a problem with both ways. You have we have only 5 minutes left in the session, right? So Ali, you can check it. You can check the slide in the course material over there in Classera. Now, guys, I can tell you that we have reached the end of our course material for the exam. After 2 weeks, I think, sociology will be the last exam. So until we meet again, have a nice time, and remember that there will be an assignment published in the weekend regarding this lesson, building blocks of social structure, as a reminder. Thank you, guys. Have a nice time and see you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
مستر
Yes.
الناس اللي